I'm here with Kevin Kenny, athletic director and head coach at Evans High School. Coach Kenny is the longest tenured coach here in our area, longest tenured head coach, with the possible exception of Otis Smart, the Laney girls coach, and Michael Thomas, the Thompson boys coach. I could have that wrong, but that's what my memory tells me. Now, Coach Kenny wants to set the record straight with something that I said yesterday in the podcast. I said something like, Evans didn't play Milton this past Friday because Evans had lobbied the region's coaches to cancel the region tournament, and the powers that be made it so Evans, if they weren't going to play in the region tournament, they couldn't go play Milton, something to that effect. We're going to give Coach Kenny the floor. He's going to respond to that. And then if he's willing to keep talking after that, I will likely give either an apology or explain what the mistake that I made. Since he called me this morning requesting this interview, I've been thinking it through. So hopefully I'll be able to at least give a window into why I would have made a mistake like that. But we'll cut to Coach Kenny. Coach Kenny, please respond to what I said yesterday.
Thank you, Chad. When I heard the podcast and your statement is totally false information. Evans High School has never lobbied, polled any coaches, or tried to cancel the region tournament whatsoever. Why the tournament was canceled, let me give you the timeline of events. The original proposal was from Heritage High School, from Conyers. So Heritage AD Center called me at 7:35 on Friday morning. There was an article in the AJC about other regions canceling their tournaments. 19 regions out of 64 canceled, which is 30% of the state. So he called me up and said, hey, we might need to look at canceling the region tournament due to COVID. They bring all these teams in, and the possibility of someone catching it, a team catching it, will knock them out of the state playoffs, because the region tournament is supposed to end February 19th, and the state tournament starts the 23rd of February. So his reasoning was everybody's ultimate goal is the state tournament, not necessarily the region tournament. And that's what he was looking at. After I hung up with him, I immediately called Rockdale County AD Chad Sudreth, who was hosting the tournament, to get his thoughts on it. We discussed it, and he suggested we send out 3 proposals. And I am the region secretary. Let me just define region secretary. Region secretary has 4 jobs. Number 1 is keep track of the finances. Number 2 is to submit any proposals by any member school of the region. Number 3, order and present trophies. And number 4, report results to the GHSA. The region secretary does not have veto power. The region secretary does not have anything to that effect. It's not a one-man show. Every decision is made by the region, and according to the region bylaws, which I have right here in front of me, that it is a majority vote on every single proposal. So I want to put that out there. So I called Coach Sudreth. We talked about it, and he suggested we have 3 proposals. The 3 proposals were have a region tournament, have a region go straight with the 4 seeds, regular season 1, 2, 3, 4, or go with the first 3 seeds and then 4 and 5, to be fair to the 4 and 5 because they're so close, let them have a playing game. So majority voted of the region. Every school gets 1 vote. Evans High School didn't have 3 votes, they had 1 vote like all other 5 members, and it was majority vote. Now, let me say also, before this vote was taken, every single seed was still in play Friday night, which what that means is the only seeds that were locked up were girls number 1 Rockdale and girls number 2 Grovetown. Every other seed was in play. Heritage boys were locked in at number 3. Every other seed was in play, so we wanted to have the vote before the games Friday and Tuesday, so that way everybody knows Friday night what they had to do to advance their seed or to get a better seed if, since we canceled the tournament. So every seed was in play except for those 3.
So I'll have a couple questions. When
Sure.
it comes to the 3 options, so everybody got those 3 options, and the third one was voted.
Option B was what the option A was have the region tournament. Option B was have take the top 3 seeds, and 4 and 5 would have the playing game. And option C, I believe it was, just take the top 4 seeds.
So you went with 4 and 5 have a playing game.
Yes, 4 and 5 have a playing game. And as region secretary, my job is to take any proposal, which once again, I want to emphasize 100%, the proposal was made by Heritage High School of Conyers, Georgia. That's who made the proposal. So my job as region secretary is to take a proposal and submit it to all the athletic directors, and then they vote on it, and it is a majority vote on every single proposal.
So I'll say real quick, before I ask more questions, I want to say to anybody who might care, who's listening, I do my best to impersonate a reporter is what I say a lot. This is an amateur hobby of mine, but I try to do it the best I can. If I would have done things correctly, in my opinion, hopefully this stands up, but it's the best I have. If I would have done things correctly, before I said what I said on yesterday's podcast, I would have talked to Coach Kenny and gotten his response. I've been getting messages for the past week or so encouraging me to, you might say, investigate this story or dig into this story or whatever. And when I get those messages, I have decided I don't want to do that because I don't want to send a bunch of emails, write a bunch of, make a bunch of phone calls to various officials and try to say, do you want to go on the record? Do you not want to go on the record? I chose not to take on that task. So when I get on the microphone yesterday and Charles McNeil, the host of the show, says Evans didn't play Milton, and I off the cuff kind of say, yeah, here's what happened there, that was not correct on my part. If I had that to do over again, I would have not said anything because the information I was going on was information that I've heard, seen from various parties, but I hadn't vetted that information and gotten all sides to either comment or not comment on the record or off the record. I did not do that. That was not proper on my part. We'll do everything we can to make that. We're setting the record. Coach Kenny's setting the record straight here from his mouth, and then I am trying to set the record straight as far as the mistake that I made. Now, when it comes to this timeline, I'll ask a few questions. You've stressed the fact that Heritage initiated the proposal. Part of the reason that this thing was on my mind in the first place is people who are associated with Heritage, not the head coach, not the athletic director, but people associated with the program in one way or another have aired out on social media their, I would say, their opinion that Coach Kenny, that you started this thing. So that is a little bit of why, after a week of being pounded over the head with these comments, not by specifically those people, but it has been talked about in different circles. And so your response, to be 100% clear, you already, I think, pounded the table a little bit making that point. That proposal came from the Heritage AD, and then it was voted on by what, the 6 athletic directors or head basketball coaches, or the 12?
As the way the region bylaws are, every proposal is voted on by the athletic directors, which of course athletic directors talk to their basketball coaches, I'm sure, if they should have. I mean, that's what athletic directors do. They just don't arbitrarily make decisions. And I saw those same social media tweets and posts, whatever, and they are 100%, I say it again, 100% wrong. What those Heritage folks need to do is go talk to their athletic director and their basketball coach and get the true story. And so, because that's the fact that Heritage is the one that called me and proposed to cancel the region tournament.
The other thing that the thing that I said that, I'm not quoting myself directly, but it's something like the game didn't happen because Evans had lobbied the other coaches to cancel the region tournament. When you laid out that scenario a second ago, correct me if I'm wrong, but Heritage contacted you at 7:35 in the morning.
7:35 Friday morning, I got a phone call.
Because you're the secretary.
Sir?
Because you're the secretary.
Because I am the region secretary. Yes. And I am the one that submits the proposals to athletic director in the region. Contact for any proposal, whether it's track, one act play, drama, golf, whatever, baseball. They contact me, say this is what they want to propose. Since I'm the region secretary, I type up the proposal word for word what they say, and I send it to the other athletic directors for a vote. That is my job as region secretary.
And you're the region secretary for all sports. You just said one act play, not just
right.
basketball.
I mean, every sport that the region participates in. Yes, every single sport. And like I said, I described my job description earlier in the show, the four main things that I am responsible for.
Yes. So when it comes to me saying that you lobbied other coaches or other athletic directors or other schools, that would be false as well. And one reason why I ask it, the call to Rockdale, what would that have been?
Because they were hosting it.
Yeah. Okay.
They were hosting a region tournament, so they're the main ones that have to deal with the region tournament. So I called Coach Sudreth from Rockdale. I said, "You guys are hosting it. What do you think about this?" And he said, "Well, let's look at it." And then we came up with these three options. And so the only reason I didn't call the other athletic directors, I called Coach Sudreth because they were going to host it. And I think that's very important. If they're going to be the ones to host, 3 or 4 days of regional tournament, they need to be in the conversation.
So as opposed to lobbying, that is a player in the game, as if you will.
Right, I didn't tell Coach Sutherland, hey, we need to cancel. This is what I said. My exact words were, "You're hosting the tournament. What are your thoughts on this?" Because everybody's coming to their venue, and that's not lobbying. I don't care how people want to spin it. That is not lobbying. That is doing your due diligence for a region tournament, since they are the host of the tournament. I would be negligent in my duty if I submitted that proposal without talking to the host of the region tournament.
I can see that now. And then after that call, the proposals go out, the votes come back, and nothing in between those two instances.
No, I can tell you the timeline exactly. That at 7:35, Coach Center called me. At 7:45, I contacted Coach Suthers from Rockdale to discuss it. At 8:15, I emailed the region athletic directors with 3 viable options and said we had to vote by 12 noon because all 3 region games Friday had playoff implications. And then the votes came in.
Yeah.
So that's the timeline.
Is it like proper form, or it allowed, or something that's not commented on when it comes to the voting? If it was 3-3 or 4-2 or 5-1 or 6-0, and who voted which way?
According to region bylaws, it takes a majority vote to pass a proposal. And so
now, okay, I got you. Now, the other part of what I said is the reason that you couldn't go play Milton was because, we've refuted the because right. Evans lobbied the region not to play in a tournament. That's false, is what you have gone on record to say. That I think thank you for coming on record to say that. What did the Milton? When did the Milton game get scheduled, and when did it get canceled, and why?
The Milton game got scheduled January 20th is when we talked about, and scheduled it was January 20th. So the Milton game was scheduled for a while. He contacted me, okay, and I can send you the text on January 20th where he contacted me. All right, so he said we're going to play. And then after the region tournament was canceled, I got with my principal, Mr. Johnson, who we have a great relationship. We discussed everything athletically. And we both felt, not just him, me, that since we canceled the region tournament, we were going to go from the last game, February 9th, to the state playoffs, February 23rd or 24th, without a game. That was our decision to do that because basically we wanted to keep our kids in a bubble. And so going to Atlanta is not keep your kids in a bubble, not to the extent the NBA is. Of course, kids go out and they can catch COVID, or they can get it from going out with friends and everything else. But we felt in the best interest to get to the state playoffs after our last region game, February 9th, it would be our due diligence not to have any other games until the state playoffs, just to keep our kids safe, keep the contact low, getting on a bus, doing that stuff. And we've been very, very fortunate this season that we've done a great job, I think, with it. And so that was the reason why the Milton game was canceled. The Milton game was canceled, I think, either Monday or Tuesday after that.
I agree about doing a great job keeping the guys basically healthy. A lot of teams have played a lot fewer games than you guys.
Right.
I got to ask though, how could so you're saying this is another thing I got wrong when I said that the powers that be made you cancel the Milton game. I wasn't, I wasn't saying that Coach Kenny and your principal canceled the Milton game. That's what you're saying now. So help me with that, because I never would have imagined that if the Milton game was going to happen Friday, that would have conflicted with the region tournament. So how could that have been scheduled as far back as January 20th? I remember over Christmas you telling me you were trying to get a game against Milton. I was excited about it.
No. Your dates are wrong. The Milton game was February 12th. The region tournament is the next week.
That's right. You were going to play Tuesday. You were going to play Tuesday the 9th. And take basically a week off before the region tournament started. You're right. My dates were absolutely off.
Right. So the region tournament was the 16th, 18th, and 19th. The Milton game was scheduled for the 12th, which, once again, as a basketball coach, you're a basketball guy, that February 9th was our last region game. We had already locked in one of the top two seeds. We didn't want to go February 9th until the 18th or 19th to play a game, because we wouldn't have to play in the playing game. So we wanted to have that game in between. And plus, the stage, like I said, you're a basketball guy. The opportunity to play the 11th ranked team in the nation, not just the state, the 11th ranked team in the nation, is something you can't take away from kids. When it comes out, when they first contacted me, it's a great win or lose. And we told the kids it's a great opportunity for us on a national stage.
Yeah, like I said, I knew as far back as when you were playing in the tournament again, the big tournament, the Lemon Street Classic, that you were trying to get a game against Milton. I was really excited about it. At one time, it was going to be maybe MLK Day.
It was going to be, and then the powers that be next to MLK. So
okay,
because I have my MLK tournament every single year, and I couldn't do any tournaments this year.
Yeah,
so the county wouldn't let me have any tournaments.
So just to clear this part up, sometime before the region tournament was proposed to be canceled and then canceled on Friday, I guess that was the 5th of February. Sometime before that, the game against Milton was scheduled for the 12th.
Yeah.
And everybody's excited about it. You get to go play the top team in the state, regardless of class, one of the best teams in the country, top 20 at least. And everybody's excited about that. Then the proposal comes and it says, hey, let's not play the region tournament. It's too risky. It will affect our team's chances to make it to state health-wise. The vote comes down to cancel that. And then after that, you and your principal get together and say, hey, if we're not going to play in the region tournament, we probably shouldn't go to Atlanta and play against Milton as well. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me check my notes and make sure there's not another item or two that I wanted to cover. I tried to prepare best I could. The only other thing that I think I have, was there ever like a proposal? Because, I see the other regions, Butler, Laney, Westside, Josie, that region, that 2A region here locally, an 8-team region. It was in that original Atlanta Journal-Constitution article as a region that had canceled theirs. And so that was in my mind, like, okay, that tournament's gone now. And then all of a sudden in the past few days, I've seen that it got reinstated, and instead of all 8 teams participating, it's 6 teams, and instead of being at a central location, they decided to play games at the higher seed. I think all the way through the higher seed hosts. Was that ever that was a kind of an innovative workaround to not having a central location or whatever. Did that ever come up when it comes to like either Heritage or Rockdale or any of the region members?
Actually, it did. Coach Douglas from Grovetown submitted a proposal on Monday, something similar to that effect of playing at the higher seeds and everything else. And so, since we had already, canceled the tournament Friday, we took another vote once again, and it was a majority vote not to do that proposal.
Okay. There you go.
I mean, so it was, and so that was on Monday morning, and so the athletic directors voted again, and like I said, majority vote, and everybody's doing it differently. At the end of, South, on your own podcast, South Carolina was only taking, I think, the top two from each region.
That's correct. Yeah, and they never have region tournaments, but they usually take the top 4 from regular season records. This year, they're taking the top 2, and they're saying if your region wants to have a tournament, they can. Yeah, so one of our area teams, too, Fox Creek and Strom Thurmond, got the benefit of being able to play in a region tournament, whereas they usually don't. So to your point, everything's been thrown up in the air. People are
we're not the only 30% of the regions in the state cancel region tournaments.
Oh, for
that's
sure.
Almost 1/3. It's almost 1/3. And I'm a basketball traditionalist. I mean, I've gone on record as saying, region tournaments, I mean, people want to get rid of them a lot of times. There's been a push just to go with top 4 before. But I'm a traditionalist. I believe in that, when the times are totally different now.
You do believe in the region tournament. You said last year that, that's the champion. The tournament, champion of the tournament is the champion. So I guess the one last question would be, do you want to share how you voted? And
no, because once again, majority rules. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, next time we talk, I hope it's about who the state tournament seeding, who you're gonna play first round, second round, all the way to, I guess we will do 5 rounds again in Georgia, 4 teams from so a 32 team field. I hope you go really deep in there. We watched Kell and Wheeler, the number 1 and 2 teams, play Friday night. It was an amazing game, and you guys are the number 3 team. And you're in this class of teams talent wise that is just very impressive, and we're proud to have a team from this area be mentioned in that space.
And to that point, I think every team, whoever the 4, we're locked in, us, Grovetown, Heritage. I think I don't know the playing games tomorrow, but I think these top 3 seeds in our region, I think all 3 can make a deep run into the tournament. I mean, I firmly believe that. I think all 3 are very, very good teams. All kids are prepared, and I think all 3 of us can make a deep run in the tournament. I mean, I think our region is going to do very well.
I totally agree. I think I called it. If you were, or Grovetown were, and I didn't mention Heritage, but I'll throw them in. I called it. It would be a Cinderella run. That might not be true. Maybe it's just these teams are on the same level. I was so impressed with those 2 teams, so that's why I called it.
No, I think Kell and Wheeler might be a little bit above. I mean, they're very, very good. I've seen them on film. They're very good. But I think the top 3 teams in our region can definitely make a deep run in the tournament for sure.
No doubt about that. Yeah, and you made the Elite 8 last year. Heritage made the Final Four 2 years ago. I was talking to a college coach Saturday when I was kind of just in awe of how well Wheeler and Kell played, and relaying that to him. He said, without me prompting him, Evans can beat those teams. So, when I call it a Cinderella run, other people call it, a fair matchup. And I want to, that's what I'd like to call it too. So
I appreciate that.
I'll start adjusting my brain.
People have faith in us. I appreciate people have faith in us. I think we're very good. And like I said, once again, I mean, I think all 3 of our top seeds can do well in the state tournament. I firmly believe that. And I'm excited to see how all of us do.
I am too. Coach, thank you for going on the record.
I appreciate you letting me, Chad. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and for everybody, I'll say it one more time. If I would have talked to Coach Kenny first, that would have been the correct way to do it. And if he'd have told me what he told me today, I wouldn't have opened my mouth about this reason or that reason why the Evans-Milton game did or didn't get played or didn't get played. So that's my mistake. Hopefully today clears that up. We'll do our best to put notes and things around yesterday's episode to admit that error and alert people to this interview so that everything can be as clear as possible. Thank you, Coach. We'll see you on the court soon.
All right. Thank you.